What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is episode 226. Sorry, I was trying to catch my thought as I was talking.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And yeah, go follow our other channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always put the link to our blog channel in the description below, just in case you're wondering. But yeah, we noticed some of you guys, if not new people too, that's cool, that you guys like the Portland vlog that we did and stuff like that, and we have more content coming up on that one, so we appreciate you.
Shout out to anyone who gave those vlogs the time of day, because the first one was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't look like it, but it was. So I appreciate anyone who takes the time to watch, and yeah, I appreciate it.
And we have more coming, so go subscribe. All right.
Give us ideas.
Yeah, that would be good too.
Go on that channel, link in the description, feel out the vibe, and be like, guys, you should do a video doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so today's video is the surprising reason why British people sing in American accents, which is something I've wondered all the time too.
Always.
Because
not all of them do though. Like Charlie XCX, Club Classic.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with the genre.
I don't care. Like Rex Orange County, I barely hear his.
Yeah, he has Americanized.
I'm talking about younger artists. Yeah. Obviously, there's, people that are older that are super famous that I wouldn't even know are British. Can't name
Oasis.
any right now. They are.
Yep.
They're like, and they're going on tour next year. I want to go.
Drop in the comments if you like Oasis.
I don't think they're going to make it to America if they even get through this tour.
All right.
I don't even think they like America. Well, at least that one Liam guy. I don't think he likes America.
A song came on of Oasis.
I love them.
And it was pretty good. I don't hate them.
You're a liar.
The only reason is because Wonderwall got overplayed, and it made any band that usually gets overplayed like that, I just immediately don't like them. Because
you think it's like not cool to like something that's popular.
All right, whatever.
It's true, and it's so annoying because there are so many good bands artists that make good music and they just happen to be popular. But I've noticed that Oasis is like the UK's version of Nickelback. Like everyone just loves to hate them, but they still have a cult following somehow.
That's probably a really good comparison.
Thank you. But I have always loved Oasis, and I remember years ago when I would play a couple of their songs, you're like, not for me. I never really got into them,
But I bet if I didn't know the name of who was singing, I would probably be like, oh, those are good. Like if I did, yeah.
Their music to me is the equivalence of like a coming of age movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I just don't know how they make that music because their energy doesn't come off that way. Well, I'm pretty sure the younger brother that writes it.
I don't know. I don't really know that much about it.
Anyway,
but I'm sure we'll figure out and find out certain reasons why in the video. So
leave it to us to get off track. Okay.
All right.
Something struck me the other day about Adele and Lewis Capaldi and how their singing voices are so radically different from their speaking voices.
Hello, I'm Adele.
What happened was I got approached about it in 2019.
It's super Scottish.
And people often ask that in the form of, why do British people sing in an American accent? But it's actually not just British people. It also happens to people from Ireland, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and all other parts of the English-speaking world. So what does it actually mean?
The millennial pause. Speaking of pause, I have a fucking pimple patch on, so if anyone wants to make fun of me the way he has,
no one was going to even notice until you said it, I bet.
My time of the month is coming, so I'm getting that fun acne.
To sing in an American accent. One aspect involves sounds before consonants and before silence, which many people in some of the countries I mentioned don't do in their normal speech, but do in singing. Harry Styles is from Redditch in Worcestershire, and most people there would say watermelon sugar without any R's. Well, in the unlikely event of any human being ever having said watermelon sugar before that song came out. Have you got any sugar? Yes, no, I've got cane sugar. Is it watermelon? No, there's no such thing as watermelon sugar, I don't think.
Does he pronounce the R, though? I feel like in the song he doesn't really pronounce it.
It sounds like watermelon sugar.
Watermelon.
Hi. Right?
Yeah, but I don't think he emphasizes it.
I don't know.
This just gave me a flashback when my niece was born. She's now about to be 8. She was like not even 2, and then that song came out, and she couldn't speak yet, like fully, and she would be like, and
That's
she would
hilarious.
always sing it with me. My sister would get so mad.
Yeah.
However, when Harry sings it, he says watermelon sugar.
Watermelon sugar.
Another difference in that song is where most British people would say watermelon or watermelon. He says watermelon with a kind of, it's called a tap, so it's kind of like a little D sound, and people often use that when singing wherever there's a T or a D between vowels. And that's a common feature of North American English. For some more features, let's have a listen to Adele. Now, her normal accent is Cockney, because she's from Tottenham in London, also with some MLE influences. Now, I absolutely don't want to impinge on anyone's copyright. And in the spirit of fair usage, I want to concentrate on the pronunciation of the lyrics. So I've edited out, as far as I can, the music. As a result, the voices don't sound very nice. So I really recommend that you go off and listen to the songs in their full glory, however you normally do that.
Yeah, never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you said, sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing
She's such a good
but
singer.
the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you say, sometimes it lasts and loves, but sometimes it hurts instead.
Yeah. It sounds very like
She doesn't have
Americanized.
rhotic R's in this song, but she does in Hello. Here, instead of her native mind, she's saying mind the first time round, but in other instances of the price vowel, she's going for a long R sound. So in kind and time. That's interesting because it's a feature of southern US accents rather than general American. I suppose the Beatles were among the first artists in the UK to start singing in American, and it wasn't always generally approved of. Apparently, Paul McCartney's dad suggested that they would sound more dignified if they sang "She Loves You, Yes, Yes, Yes." That would have gone down well. North American English hasn't had the trap-bath split. So, where Adele would say last, she sings last. The vowel in can't is interesting because in many parts of the UK that haven't gone through the trap-bath split, can't still keeps the palm vowel. So, the Beatles might say, can't buy me love, but they sing, can't buy me love.
Money can't buy me love.
Yeah.
Talking
Oh my
of
God.
love.
You know what's funny? And my mom was the biggest Beatles fan, or she is the biggest Beatles fan. And I remember always listening to that when I was a kid. And I never even put the pieces together that they Americanized their voices. Like all their songs were Americanized. They probably want it to be really big in the U.S.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Is it just easier to sing that way, or is it because you don't want to sound British?
I think you... I don't know.
There are artists who do sound British when they're singing.
I know. Anyone who's a singer or
rappers.
anything and from the UK or other parts of places like that, you answer, if you can, please, if it is easier to sing an American accent or you have to like force yourself to learn it. Because the only reason I could see them doing it is because they probably knew like at that time that maybe the US was blowing up for music.
Maybe, yeah.
But the UK was blowing up for music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they helped blow up their music here.
Interesting, yeah.
That's how Adele pronounces it too. It's so common that people have actually come up with the joke spelling of love. And that's also a feature of the southern US rather than general American. So why do non-Americans put on an American accent when we sing?
Why do they?
You'll notice I'm not saying why do we lose our accents, although that's a way that question is often phrased, especially here in the States. Kind of suggests, though, that everyone sounds American deep down once you remove some kind of surface accent. And that's a bit of an odd assumption. I actually made a spoof video about it, which I'll link to here and in the description below. And also, it's important to realise that it's not every time we sing. I mean, we're not all stood around the cake singing "Happy Birthday to You," unless we're channeling our inner Marilyn, I suppose. It's when we sing American styles of music. And the US has contributed so much to global musical culture, especially during the course of the 20th century, and an especially huge contribution from African American communities. And I think that in turn explains some of those southern features that I've pointed out. There's something about music that's so fundamental, so we get swept up in the rhythm and the pitch, and I think also the pronunciation. And I think that's why it's much easier to imitate accents when singing, and I think that's why we do it without even realising we're doing so. I mentioned the Beatles earlier, and I think it's hard for us to imagine these days just how strong those American influences on them were. As kids, whenever a record by one of their idols came out, they had to get a bus across the city to go and listen to it at the house of a friend who had ordered it.
That's a good point too. And when they were younger, it was a lot of the blues from the South that were so popular to all the rock bands or
so they're almost imitating like subconsciously
probably what they were hearing.
By mail order and had it shipped from the US. They drank in the chords and the notes and the beats, and I think also the consonants and vowels. It's no accident that American styles of music like jazz, blues, R&B, rock and roll, pop sound better in American accents. What other kind of music would you expect Americans to invent? Voice coaches talk about the placement of the voice, where people imagine that their singing voice is coming out from an imaginary hole in the top of their head or from the mask. Imagining those things helps people configure their vocal posture, relaxing some muscles, tightening others, broadening or tightening the larynx, etc. Phoneticians describing speech talk about articulatory settings as the default posture of the vocal tract for certain accents. For example, inner lip rounding and protruding lips for French. So again, it's hardly surprising that the voice placement for musical styles born in the USA happens to correspond to the articulatory settings for American accents, which means it sounds better and is easier to produce using those accents. So what about Americans themselves? Do they lose their accents when they're singing? Well, surprisingly, the answer is yes. As I said, some of those features, like price and love, come from the American South. So singers whose normal accent is General American adopt those features when they're singing. Many Southern American accents are non-rhotic. And so many Americans...
A really good example, if you like classic rock, would be Creedence Clearwater Revival. So they're from like LA, and they were singing like "Born on the Bayou," like they sounded like they were in Louisiana.
Right.
Yeah, like they completely adopted that sound.
Yeah, a lot of different genres have their own like established
accent,
Singing styles drop the R before consonants and at the ends of words. Here's Bruce Springsteen singing "Born" in the USA. Not an R to be heard. The Broadway accent is also non-rhotic, as these examples from Barbra Streisand's show. Together, spare, care, learn. Somewhat.
I can't. This guy's so funny with the way that he like stops.
He's iconic.
Now, for those of us with a passion for learning languages, the fact that it's so easy to imitate pronunciation when singing, to the extent that people don't even realize they're doing it, means that a good way for you to improve the accent of the language you're learning is to find songs that you like and sing along to them.
That's a great hack.
Well, I hope you found this video interesting, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Meanwhile, check out this video.
All right.
What's his channel?
I know, I like it. Sorry. Dave
Huxtable. It's like
Dave Huxtable. Sorry.
All right. Well, thanks, Mr. Huxtable, for your information.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I do always wonder that.
know Celine Dion was French Canadian.
I don't think I ever realized how many singers and famous artists are not from the U.S.
You just assume they are because, again, like they're not singing with an accent.
That's so crazy to me to think that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was cool. Leave some of your favorite artists in the comments below that are either from the UK or the US. Just so we get an idea of what y'all like.
Mainly the UK because I kind of want to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching and have a great day.
Yep. Don't forget to subscribe over to our blog channel. Okay. It's in the description below. And we appreciate y'all. Peace.
Bye.